Welcome everyone. Today I have a very special Diablo 4 Season 1 Druid guide. So this particular Druid build, let me show you guys the combination. I'm currently using Temerity, and also I'm currently using this particular gem, the Brutal Heart gem, that provides me with more barrier generation and also heals me when I have a barrier. So the concept of this build is I'm turning my Druid into a support Paladin. So let me just show you all my skills. Let me cast my Blood Heart skill, which have almost no cooldown. This will heal me for a percentage of my health. But once I cast a shield, what you're gonna notice is my barrier will constantly go up. This is because of this particular gem. And this means when I have a barrier, I will heal for a fixed life. This is one of the weaker gem I had, I'm just testing. There's an even stronger one, heal me over for 30-40 HP per second. Together with Temerity, I'm getting tons of shield just by standing here. Now one of the best part about the build is I have so many ways of healing myself, and because I keep healing myself, I get more barrier, and this gives me the permanent barrier and makes me super durable. And notice that everything makes me stronger, right? So I'm constantly getting barrier and very tanky, very durable. And this build is gonna be one of the strongest supporting build and also Paladin Druid. Yes, you can see I have Fortify, I have barrier, I have so many ways to become defensive and get really tanky. Now coming over to one of my build replays. So here what I want to show you guys is, I want to show you guys a little bit of the highlight of this particular build. This is a support Paladin build. I'm constantly giving my team damage reduction, constantly giving them invulnerability on enemies, and also attack speed and also critical chance. I'm also very good in terms of controlling enemies, sucking them together, and also reducing the damage of enemies. I'm very durable, constantly having tons of shield, which makes me super hard to be killed. So this is a really fun build, and what I want to show you guys is notice I can suck enemies in, I can cast random spells, which reduces my cooldown by a lot. So notice my cooldowns of my Blood Heart is always getting reduced, because in a party with members, as they kill monsters, this spell gets cooldown reduction. And once we split up, we get more cooldown reduction. So briefly showing you guys the fight against the boss. Because this is a supporting build, I'm always going one of my party members to provide them with more attack speed, more critical chance, and tons of debuff against enemies. And there you go. We don't really take much damage against the front boss, and sometimes even if we do, we pop a potion, we pop some healings, we're very durable, constantly having Fortify, constantly having the barriers, and super tanky. And I do believe this is close enough to a Paladin class if we're going with a support Paladin. And I show you guys over here, we help our party members to kill the boss very fast. And if you guys are wondering, yes, in the future videos, I'll make a guide on this Barbarian build. My friend Kashio has made the Ice Halter Barbarian, which is very fast. Now, similar to all of our build videos, I'll be working with Mobilitics and also provide you guys with a cheat sheet of the summary of the spells and also the abilities and also the choice of legendaries. So make sure you guys check the links below, and we'll be updating this build for you guys very soon. Now coming back to my character, notice guys, I'm still got my barriers. There you go, you see the barrier, nothing has changed, I'm constantly having barriers. This is because, the barrier is capped out at about a percentage of my maximum health. But because I have this ring, I will constantly be keeping my barriers. Now do keep in mind, this is the socket of the ring, the malignant heart. And do keep in mind guys, this is going to be a supporting build. If you plan to make this build, you got to make sure you have at least one party member that can deal damage. Because you provide anything else. You provide critical chance, attack speed, you provide damage reduction, you provide tons of stuns, and also damage reduction, and also healing. But what you can't provide is a lot of damage. So keep that in mind guys, this is not a damage build. Now briefly going through my items. And also keep in mind guys, this is not a finalized build. What I have learned is, I have learned and also made a variation of this build for the in-game tier 109 dungeon from Max Row, and I'll provide you guys with a full link of this build. But currently I did make the adjustment, they haven't used Temerity, and I don't think they're using the particular heart that provides me with constantly increase of shield and also healing, so they're not using this particular heart. So this is a variety of the endgame build. But this build works very well at higher levels. I can do dungeons with 10, 20 or 30 levels above me, as long there is one party member that can deal damage. So going through over to my items, you can see with my helmet, I'll provide cyclone armor to my entire party, which allows my party members to have tons of damage reduction. And this also provides with knockback, slows, and also intensified damage reduction by 30%. On my chest, I'm getting increased armor, which makes me very durable and lots of damage reduction. As for the gloves, we're getting a method of lowering cooldowns, and this will come back into the skill trees as you're gonna see. So the keystone will give us a random free spell, and when we get a random free spell, our skills will be reduced by 5 seconds cooldown. Now this can go on to the amulet, but currently I haven't gotten a good amulet to make use of this, so it's on the gloves at the moment. Now my pants is what makes me into a paladin. Because of Temerity, I'm constantly getting barriers as I get healed, and with this socketed gem, I'm constantly getting healed with barriers, so this is why I have infinite barriers. Now as for my boots and also my weapons, I'm getting increased crowd control duration because I want to stun enemies. So here 20% more duration, and also I'm getting lots of movement speed on my boots. And as for the weapon, I'm getting additional crowd control duration, and this allows me to permanently stun enemies, slow them, and also debuff them. And this goes with my ultimate and any other form that slows, debuff, and also increase our damage. Now one of the interesting part is, notice that the Deliberating Roar will debuff enemies for 4 seconds. When you have increased debuff duration, crowd control duration, this counters debuff, right? And what this allows me to do is, with the increased duration, Deliberating Roar will be increased from 4 seconds to maybe to 6 or 7 seconds. And together, this will constantly provide me with healing of per second. And this is actually really good. It's a hidden effect I learned from Barbarians. The longer the crowd control duration, the better buffs you get. Now for my amulet, I'm currently using the Werewolf with damage reduction with Shift. Eventually, I want to transfer the legendary effect from the gloves onto the amulet, and I want to get the legendary effect that stuns nearby enemies when they're next to me, which is the new Season 1. As for the rings, because I'm currently running the Sarate's Layer, which is like a blind borrow, this is a lot of damage over time with poison damage, so I decided to go with an 8% dodge chance. You can go with any of other of the rings, and the Max Roll endgame guide has moved this particular legendary codex from the one-hand weapon onto the rings, so we can be using this unique particular mace. Allows us to do more damage when my entire party is having, more poison against enemies. This weapon also provides us with +3 ranks to all defensive spells, so this is one of the best macing slot for this particular build. Now my second ring, I'm going with Bloodhound, providing my team with additional critical strike chance, and this also buffs the entire team. So we're getting increased critical strike chance, we're getting 15% increased attack speed for the whole team. As for the final piece of the puzzle, we have the offhand that provides me with more basic attack speed, and this provides us with more debuffs and also more ability to summon in free spells. Now briefly going through the spirit rooms of this Paladin Druid. We have damage reduction against elites, we have additional life bonus, and here we have additional fortify when we cast defensive spells. So we get non-stop fortify because of this. And over here, this is one of the most important part. Natural spells have a 10% chance with lucky hit to reduce the cooldowns of your ultimate skills by 2 seconds. This allows me to use more petrify to stun enemies and also pull them together. Finally, if we critical strike, we get additional healing. Now briefly going through the other socketed gems. I'm going with a Brutal Heart that provides me with damage suppression. Because I'll be using so many defensive spells, this also deals tons of damage. And also for my second heart, when I cast my ultimate, I'll be pulling enemies together with this Divis Heart. And as you're gonna see in the replays, this is really powerful with any of the other class that deals damage. Now coming over to a skill tree. This is a really fun part, because I have all the skills in the defensive section, level 5, level 5, level 5. Pretty crazy, right? And I can get a +3 level on the weapon, +3 level on the amulet, which allows me to get +11 levels on my defensive spells, and this makes me extremely tanky if I go for tier 100 dungeons. Now of course guys, I haven't got a really good amulet, and also my weapon's not, ready yet. So once I get everything together, you'll see this building action once we go for tier 100 in terms of co-op play. So coming back to our skill trees, we'll go with Storm Strike and provide us with vulnerability and also allows us to immobilize enemies. After that, we don't go into any of the core spells because we don't need that. We'll go with additional increase of critical chance, and also we'll go with additional damage reduction over here. It is optional to go with the movement speed guys if you wanted. If you find yourself a little short on fortified, you can come back over here and go into fortified. Now 5 points will be going into each of the defensive spells except for Bloodhound. So here we're getting more fortified, we're getting increased damage reduction. You can go with vulnerability, but we have tons of that. And finally, you're getting life per second as you cast Deliberating Roar. we'll be going with Blood Hall, and this is a really powerful spell, because each time any enemy gets killed that's not by us, anybody on the team kills enemies, we get 1 second reduction. As you can see in the replays, this spell has almost no cooldown, and this also provides us with additional attack speed that can be shared to the whole party. Now as we keep going, we go with 3 points into Elemental Exposure, and this allows us to do more vulnerabilities onto enemies. Now do keep in mind, I made a small mistake by putting into too many points over here. So this is 1 point over here, and this is 3 points over here. And finally, we go with Ultimate with Petrified. We don't really need to kill enemies to gain Spirit, so just 2 points into Petrified, that's enough. We'll be getting increased damage reduction against elites when we shapeshift. And here we get tons of Fortified from different sources. Again, we get more Fortified. And finally, we can reduce the crowd control duration onto us, and this provides us with more durability. Now, one of the biggest highlights of this build is the Capstone. When we cast an Earth spell, we can get a free Storm spell, and this is a random spell. When we cast a Storm spell, we get a free Earth spell. And when this actually happens, we also get the reduction to cooldowns, which goes to 5 seconds. This can even go to 8 seconds over here if we put on the amulet. And this means we're getting tons of free spells, and the free spells are cast randomly, and the free spells reduce cooldowns, make enemies more vulnerable, and also the free spells will provide us with more utility. So let's briefly come over to the skill rotations. You can see that my Blood Hall is constantly getting reduced cooldown. This is incredibly powerful. I can suck enemies in, I can constantly heal myself, getting infinite barriers, and also I'm giving my team attack speed and some critical chance. And while doing so, notice that the rest of my spells are getting cast randomly. Sometimes you're going to see a Cyclone, sometimes you're going to see Lightnings. Random spells will be casted to reduce the cooldowns. Together with Temerity, I'm super tanky and also super durable in most of the fights. Now for majority of the time, the skill rotations are pretty straightforward. You can save in your Earthen Bulwark for your chance to have unstoppableness and also to provide yourself with more barriers. But for me, I like to spend them all, because most of the time we don't really take that much damage, and if we do, we can pop any of our spells, pop a potion, and you have infinite shield. You'll be sucking enemies in with your ultimate, and while doing so, your team will do tons of damage. Notice I'm getting random spells around me, right? So it's really fun and also really cool. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also Paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates, and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4. Now before we finish the video, I'll provide you guys with a short replay of the highlight for this build, and also all the items I'm currently using. This build will be updated for tier 100, and once we go for tier 100, I may be switching up my pets to get more durability. I'll also provide you guys with a replay of me fighting the world boss, which we kill it super fast. With the team of course, because I don't do much damage. And also in the replays, you're gonna see I'll be following a Necromancer and also a Barbarian. I'll be making a Barbarian build for you guys because he deals a lot more damage with the latest unique weapon, which is a sword that deals ice damage. So hopefully you guys enjoy this build. But remember guys, this is not a damage build. You do need at least one friend that can deal damage, and then you're perfect. You're unkillable, you provide the most buffs and also debuffs.
more time. Mistake this day.
Now before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too, and she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.